Hello, Ryan here, aka Ari Rath, and welcome back to... wrong button. Part... I suppose it's 4, is it? Part 4 of his Hardcore Zero to Hero. We are just outside Tammany and Sons. Now, when we left off, I had the unfortunate mishap with... Well, it was a bug with the mining attachment for the multi-tool, which means that I could no longer mine because it lost it. I no longer had access to it. So I ended up picking up quite a bit of Ranta dung, which didn't sell for a great amount. I think in total we managed to sell for 249. Now, in the meantime, I have gathered up a few bits and sold a few bits, so we are at 2,532. But I have found quite a few nice bits while I was getting my account re-established, because with 3.19.1 going live, it did break a few things for me, where my ship had its components back again, I had all my sub-items again, which was most inconvenient, so I had to go about and get rid of all those things again, re-establish my character. Hopefully he looks the same, I don't know. But in doing so, I did find quite a nice amount of stuff. Now, I do still have my sub-grenade launcher, which I'll have to throw away when we get out in the open, because I don't need it. I shouldn't be having it right now. I also found this little guy, which is the best in show Karak, which I don't know what it's worth or if it's worth anything, but I will certainly keep it because I quite like it. So there is that. But while I was at gate 6, let me just put this in the inventory again. While I was at gate 6, I managed to come across a lot of helmets. I thought the boxes were all just these Horizon helmets, but they were these. And I know that that's worth 1,500. I think one of these is worth 2,000. Some of them are worth 770, 330. So ultimately, I actually have quite a lot of money here, as well as a lot of these undersuits. I mean, a ton of these. What else we got? So that I'm going to get rid of because that shouldn't be here. I've still got a multi-tool. And I've still got the Light Blossom. I need to find a way of getting rid of that. Again, it might have to be just dumping it somewhere. But as I say, the reset did unfortunately put all the components back in the ship. And it's just... I was hoping to get this recorded a lot earlier, but I couldn't. I had to... I was hoping to record the full series a lot earlier, but I had to deal with all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is just go through, sell everything, see what we land at. I think it'll be around the 7,000 mark, maybe a bit more, maybe 8,000. And then I'll tell you the plan. But bear with me. I just forgot to show you all the prices of some of these things. I did just sell the 2001, which reminded me to actually press record, but we've got 30 for all of them, then we've got 380, 380, 380. Some of them aren't selling at all. I might sell that and wear that one. Just to, oh no, I don't want to sell these. They're, you know, they're from my granddad, from my grandfather. I don't want to part with them. They're sentimental, let's say. But we do have one of these at 1,500, 380, 770. We're already up to 5,800 after selling that 2,000 one as well, which was very nice. Great find, that one. We are going to be quids in. Right, so we have sold everything, and we are up to, I think, 11,550. I also had a beacon undersuit that was grey, not white, which means it wasn't 30 credits like the usual ones. It was 570 or 550, which was nice. I'm all kitted up. Got my pistol, my arc-light pistol, multi-tool with tractor beam, a Hemazar pen, my venture core and backpack. And I'm just going to buy, because the plan is to do mining, still do mining. I'll take a tractor beam as well, because I can use that in case I come across any ships with weapons. See if I can put the weapons or components into my Cyclone, which I don't think is going to go well, but we can give it a go. But I also want to pick up, so the mining laser, or the mining attachment, we'll get one of them. I'll get 2 of them, just to be on the safe side, because we know what happened last time. I can afford quite a bit of stuff now. I still can't afford a component. I'll talk about that in a sec. But I also want to pick up one of these, which is the hull scraping attachment. And I'm going to get... Now, I will explain a bit more later on, but basically you can get, for a full one of these, which is the canister that all of the RMC gets processed into, and then you can sell this. So it's 35 to buy one, and then you can sell it for 192, which is what the current rate is of for RMC, which is just the one material type. But in order to properly profit from this, I need to really be getting, I think it's about 52, 53 to get to the point of 10,000. If I can fill 53 of these, I will surpass the 10,000 UEC limit, which isn't great. It's great for Ari Rath starting out with 0, but not necessarily great for people doing other things. If you've got a ship, you can make a lot more money a lot quicker. So let me just put these over here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put these in here. No. How much does that take up? 32. So that's going to take up a bit of room. Well, we may have to figure this out. But the idea being, I do feel like it's going to be a bit of a push. Maybe I'll split them in half. There we go. And keep 25 here in the local inventory, 25 there. Still not going to fit. Just to see how we get on. Because I might not... You see, there's a bit of a dilemma here, and it's interesting because it's a thought that I have to figure out. What I'll do is I'll go and get the Cyclone, and then I'll get on my way and talk about it rather than talk about it around here, because time is not on our side. So bear with me. Let's get a Cyclone, get on the way, because it is daylight right now, but it's not going to last long. So if I can get to the cave in daylight, then mine whatever overnight, and then head back in daylight, that would be ideal. So I'll be back in 2 secs. So I've just rented the Cyclone, got to the city gate, and it is definitely getting dark fast. So I'm going to have to hold off until the next sunrise, which will be, I believe, in about 2 hours. Something like that. But it should actually be a little sooner than that. I think it'll be in like an hour and a half when it gets light enough to start traveling, and then I'll have the full day. So at first break of daylight, I will jump in and I will set off and head to the cave, and then hopefully see what else we'll find on the way. But I'm not going to do it again in the dark. It was too dangerous. So it is still night time, unfortunately, but it is better to start off in the dark, because hopefully by the time, so we've just rented the Cyclone, by the time we get to where the cave is located, the sun might be on its way. And if it isn't, then it's not a long wait until it is. So the theory there is set out in the dark. I know the way. The difficulty is just finding the cave in the dark. But I know the sun will be up within the next hour, hopefully lighting the way. I might have got it way off. It might be up in the next 2 hours, but we'll see. But yeah, so the plan is, so what I've got on me is, I've got a couple of consumables in my backpack, which I will get through, so that will remove some space there. Now the plan is to go in and mine. Hadanite is worth the most. It is, wrong button. It is worth 275, whereas dolomite and aphorite are worth much less. And RMC is worth 192. So the plan really being is that if I try and get as much hadanite as possible, if I run out of hadanite and all that's left is aphorite or dolomite, like last time we went to the cave, there was a couple of ships that I could have scraped the hulls off, and that would have bagged me 192 per canister. So aim for hadanite. If I can't find any more hadanite, then I will gather up hopefully some RMC, but that really depends on whether there are ships available to gather RMC or not. So what I'll do, I'll head on my way there, and hopefully by the time we get there, the sun will begin rising, which rises from that direction. I don't know if that's just the lighting of the town, of the city, or what, but hopefully as I'm making my way closer to the cave, the sun will come up. So bear with me. I will get there and then I'll come back. Unless anything happens, of course, in between times. So, unfortunately, I literally arrived at the cave and it 30k'd, which is why the time of day may not look like it was from the previous section. I also had to take in a Tesco shop, so that kind of interrupted everything. So I'm back. It took about... what are we on now time-wise? So it's taken about 15 minutes, maybe coming up to 20 minutes to get back to this point from the city gates. But I can just see it off in the distance. And I'm determined... wait a minute, where's it gone? Okay, we've gone too far. So the cave is down on that platform where my crosshair is now. I think it's just down there. So we are going to somewhat nosedive. I always dive into the canyon as soon as I sort of get to this location. And then it's a big task trying to get my way back up the canyon to get into the level, to get onto the level where the cave is. So this time I've just sort of scooted along without going in to the canyon, or to the strip mine. Because A, you can see it. Oh, what the hell? That looked like it was a... I just jumped that. A, you can see it from up top, so it makes it a lot easier to find. Not in the dark, mind, but in the daylight it does. And B, you don't have to then try and scale all the walls to get to it, but you do have to be careful driving over to it, because if you hit a rock at the wrong angle at a bit of speed, it can fling you off down the wall into the pit. And this is the first time I've approached from this way, so I don't actually know the best direction to go in. Okay, hopefully we won't get 30k again. That was very unfortunate, because time is limited, and in real life time is limited, and then you also have the day-night cycle going on, so if you miss your opportunity, you're practically screwed. Here we are though, and the good thing is, which I did mention in the previous recording, but obviously that's the 30k recording, the geometry has been fixed, so you can drive into the cave and hide now. Let's not go too far, in case I can't get back out again. But I'll just park it there for the time being. I think that'll be perfect. Right, let's hope the mining tool does what it's supposed to. I'm not going to attach it the way I did it last time. And what I will do, although it's a bit of a risk, because I'm not going to be salvaging anything right now, I'm going to put these in here. I've got some on me, but I'll come back for them when we are leaving, and I'm putting them some minables in there. But yeah, the plan is get hadanite only. Focus on hadanite. Mine as much of that as possible. I didn't fit in there, alright. So that's the first mining tool. And it's working, thank God. So, if we run out of hadanite, I will then focus on seeing if I can find some wrecks and stripping them. But from what I can see, I haven't come across any, so there's a good chance that we won't find any. Also, I am not going to go too deep into the cave. I don't want to get stuck, and I always get lost. Whenever I go too deep into these caves, I get lost, I get turned around. I have started using harvestables like Emoshi Plague to, sort of as breadcrumbs, really, to guide me back to the surface, but that isn't always going to be the case. That's apatite. Okay, we'll leave that. And we must watch our step. It's interesting to note... Oh no, it's not. No. There's some hadanite. Right, let's get cracking the first one. And then I'll do it off screen. for the majority, so that you're not sitting through it all. And come back once we have enough, or time is moving on and I need to get out of here. Lovely. The other thing, if you press B, you can toggle between election mod or mining. It actually is supposed to say collection mode, which is kind of a vacuum. Or you gotta hold it. Did that go in? It seemed to whack me in the face. I'm assuming I'm storing it. It keeps hitting me. I mean, that's one way to do it, isn't it? Is it going in? Yeah, we've got 8. Seems to be pretty doable. So, toggle again. And the B toggle does work for other attachments for the multi-tool as well. Like salvaging, which hopefully I'll get to show off in this episode as well, but we'll see. Did I get that one? That's Aphorite. Again, we're going to leave Aphorite. I'm going to focus on hadanite, with it being worth the most. And if I stop finding hadanite, I will likely collect other things as well, just for the sake of, you can't guarantee you're going to find any ships to salvage. This is the intention behind some of these devices and tools and items is to generate thought and decision making, where, you know, the decision is, do I get hadanite and then nothing else? Do I then see if I can find salvageable material because it's worth 192? I think Dollarvine's worth 160 or 175, and then Aphorite is worth 150. I might have that the other way around. But either way, in that order is the importance and the scale of income that I can earn from it. This is quite a big one. So the question is, what do you go for? I don't think we can mine this one. This must be more of a rock mineable or a multi-person mineable. Oh boy, I didn't realise it had affected it so much. I think the instability is 4.4, which is pretty high. We're going to have to just leave that one for now, I think. Hopefully we'll find others. But yeah, I'll get on mining, and then I'll come back once I've filled up with enough to warrant going back to the Cyclone to offload. Hopefully we have enough time to gather quite a bit of it. Yeah, as I say, let me just put a bit of Emoshi Plague there, just to help guide me out of the cave. So if I put it down there, that'll tell me this is the way out. It worked last time. I think I forgot to show that on screen. Anyway, I'll be back soon. Hopefully we'll find enough in a reasonable amount of time to make a good amount of cash. That looks like Aphorite to me. Oh, it's hadanite. Okay, see you in a bit. I think we might be full. Yeah, 100%. So what I'm going to do is quickly make my way back to the Cyclone. Drop this off, and then come back and pick up the rest and keep going. I haven't really got a lot of time left to do this, and I need to leave some time to... Wait, where was it? I think it was this way. I need to leave some time as well so that I can drive back to Lawville, because I need to be back in the landing zone to be safe. So there is a bit of a worry there. Now, is this the way out? No, that's not the way out. I did fall down a little small hole and was very worried that I wouldn't be able to get back out again, but thankfully I did. End of story, really. It wasn't that exciting. So this is the way out, thanks to my Emoshi Plague. Wouldn't be surprised if the sun is on its way down now. I thought I heard someone's... Oh, it's the echo of my own torch. I thought someone else was pressing theirs, and it freaked me out for a second. But yeah, if I can load up this hadanite... Now, there is the issue of a 30k, and if I don't have it on me, then... the hadanite on me, and 30k, then I could lose it if it doesn't take a snapshot of my vehicle. Now, the last 30k, it seemed to work fine with the snapshot of the vehicle. So, fingers crossed it works fine this time as well, because I'm going to stick it in there. Which is a big risk. But let me just go and do a little bit more mining. Maybe 10 minutes worth. And then I'll make my way back. It's probably going to be in the dark, though, that we're driving back. But that's not too much of a problem, because I'm not looking for a small hole in a wall. I can pretty much find my way back to Lawville. I can find the gate. It's not that difficult. Jojo, I hope you get rescued, my friend. Right, I'll be back once we have hopefully filled up again with more hadanite. So far, things are going okay. They're not super smooth. Things are definitely a bit janky at times, but so far, they're working out all right. Let me see if I can mine it. Let me just show you this. This, I couldn't crack. The hadanite here seems very strong. Let me see if it works now. Could have just been a bug. We're getting there. Last time it kept dropping again. I don't know if that was server performance or what, but thankfully it looks like we're actually getting it now. Right, I'll be back in a jiff. Okay, so I am on my way back now. I have another 39 pieces of hadanite, a few pieces of aphorite, and I'm just going to throw the aphorite into the cyclone and take out the hadanite. Put that into my backpack. It is dark now. It is very dark. But we are heading back to Lawville, so it shouldn't necessarily make it harder outside of seeing obstacles. But as I say, the headlights for the cyclone are pretty good. They do the job. We were completely undisturbed down here as well, which is very cool. Right, so gonna chuck this in there. This, funnily enough, that is already 50%, so if I hadn't suffered the 30k, I would have spent a lot more time filling up this with hadanite as much as possible. So I'll throw that in there and I'll bring this across. Oh, I can't. Okay, let's just... I'm doing this as a bit of a 30k failsafe. There we go. If we were to suffer a 30k, I know that right now it is working to where your character will be saved. And any items in the inventory will be saved, so I prioritize putting that stuff in there. And then everything else can go in the cyclone. Because, although I'd, of course, rather not lose it, if I did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Right, let's try and make our way back. Thankfully, I think we will be able to find more than enough hadanite to not even worry about getting anything else, even RMC, but we will see. What I am going to do is nosedive into the canyon, because that's the way I know of getting out of here, rather than going up that side. That might be a little harder. Whee! It's always the fun part. Ooh, and yeah, come 320, we'll have more realistic, or hopefully completely realistic, physics for wheeled vehicles. Oh boy. But it should take about 20-25 minutes to get back. And then we'll go on a selling spree and see how much we've made. Now, I don't think we're going to quite be at the point of a full component. I need a power plant and a cooler first, which will result in me having to go up into, getting a lift up into Everest, buying the items, chucking it into the inventory of the ship person who is transporting me around, bringing me back to Lorville, and then putting it into my local inventory there. That's the only way I can think to do it at the moment. But yeah, I think the power plant that I can get from there is about 23,000, so it's pretty pricey. Cooler, I cannot remember how much it is, but getting that power plant first, I need to get them both at the same time rather than having someone multiple times take me up and down. So it'll be a case of going up when I've got enough money for both the cooler and the power plant and getting it at the same time. I think, like I say, 23 for the power plant, and then it could be another 15 for the cooler. So it's going to take a little while, a couple more runs of this. Hopefully we can even find some salvage close by to Lorville Gates. We don't need to come all this way to find salvage, but it does help having an enemy outpost over in that direction, over there, because there is more potential for salvage if there are NPCs around. Right, I'll make my way back. Again, I'll only show footage if something of interest happens. But fingers crossed it doesn't, and it's smooth, because I don't have all that much time in the real world. That 30k certainly set me back big time. But as I say, I show all the good, all the bad, all the ugly, and all the beautiful. And it is what it is. It's all part of playing the alpha. Right, back in 2025, we'll see. Right, so now that we have arrived in the vicinity of Lorville, I'm gonna move all this stuff across, all of it actually, into Lorville, so that if we do suffer anything, it's in the local inventory. It's not getting missed. Now, I don't like doing that because it feels a bit cheaty being, you know, instead of just driving it and physicalizing it all. But I have been burnt by a 30k today, and I don't want it to happen again. So there you go. Maybe it's good advice, maybe it's a little cheaty depending on your perspective of it, but I'm doing it anyway because I don't want to lose it. Okay, we made it back. It was a bit touch and go for a second. I thought I'd taken the wrong turn and didn't know if I was actually approaching the right location. Let me just do it this way, because in fact, let's just try it this way with the button. See if it works. Didn't work last time, but that was 319. Don't look like it. That's the one. Oh, we got the wrong one there. Right, this is the one. So, let's store the Cyclone. Get ourselves back to L19 residences. Well, actually, we need to go to the CDB, so we'll head there and see what we can sell. Hopefully, we've made quite a decent amount of time, amount of money here.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Right, let us go and see how much we've made. Let's take a look at how much we have. Seems to be windy in here. So, sell from Lorville, because that's where I plopped it all. So, hadanite, we have 69 units, 18 of aphorite, and 10 of dollarvine. Let's start with dollarvine. Get those 10, so that's about 1,300. That's that one. And then aphorite, 18 units of that one, 2,700. It's going up. What are we up to? 9,326. And then 69 of hadanite, 18,000. That is wonderful news. So, what does that actually make it? That didn't seem to look right. 31,000. So that's the equivalent of a new power plant. Maybe not a cooler at the same time. I think I do need to go out and do a little bit more, but that was a pretty decent decent score. Let's head to the bar and chill out and have a drink. What I might do tomorrow, is in the next day, is see if I can get to... There's a ruined shanty, like, outpost. A derelict settlement, I think they're called, where they have NPCs. They also have that cutlass hovering above. It is sort of in between the cave and Lawville, a bit off behind the CDB. It's about 20 kilometers away from the CDB. So it's actually closer to Lawville than the cave is. But the difficulty being, I don't know what the terrain is like. Well, I know that there's that canyon, so that is going to cause a problem, because those canyon walls are difficult for the Cyclone to get up. Oh, there's no bartender. Hello? And they're standing on chairs again. All of them. I don't think that bug fixed it. I don't think that fixed the bug, whatever it was they did. But yeah, there's a canyon in between, so it isn't going to be super easy. Let's just get changed into something a little bit more comfortable. We've got that one, and that one. So we'll have to see how we get on. It might be more of a case of heading off into the direction of that place and just sort of seeing what the canyon is like, because there is another issue, which... Hang on, I can't get the good camera on here. Which is the cutlass, the enemy cutlass that hovers around. That is going to pose quite a problem, I feel. I think they do target ground vehicles. I could be wrong. I really hope they don't, but we're going to have to sort of test the waters with it and see how we get on, because I can't take any chances. So yeah, we'll give that a go maybe tomorrow. See if we can head out and... What are you standing up for, you doofus? See if we can head out and find that outpost. At the very least, if we can stumble upon some derelicts, then I will be able to scavenge the wrecks. I will probably hit up the cave again at some point. I would rather do something a little different, because I've been there twice now, and it's, well, 3 times if you include the 30k. So I want to do something a little more interesting, and maybe even just driving around in the canyon to see if we can find any wrecks, starting up high and looking over the floor of the canyon, and just seeing if there's anything there while we slowly make our approach to that ruin. Because at the ruin, I can, if I don't get killed, loot, kill the player, kill the NPCs, loot them, loot the boxes. There's plenty to be found there and lots of money to be made. But it's not without its own dangers. Anyway, that is it for this episode. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe if you want to keep up with Ari Rath's story, or keep up with the news of the weekly news of Star Citizen that is coming thick and fast this week. Be sure to follow me over at twitch.tv/supermacbrother. I will be streaming over there on, well, today being Thursday, if this goes up on the right time, and tomorrow Friday. Maybe we'll see. But hit the like button if you don't mind. Does the channel a big favour. Tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Big thank you again to my patrons and channel members. Really appreciate the support. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.